Hi everybody, this is Dr. Hamid with your College Mathematics Math 120 class. Today we'll talk about mathematics involving car loans. Okay, so we are in section 8.6, and the main objectives in this section are revolve around basically the about the car loans. We will learn how to compute monthly payments and interests for a car loan. We'll talk about different types of options when you want to buy or lease a car. Okay, we'll look at advantages and disadvantages of leasing versus buying. Okay, um, we will talk about car insurance, and then we'll look at driving, the math behind driving fuel efficient cars. Okay, how you can save money on that one. So it's a pretty interesting and our everyday kind of application lecture. Let's look at the mathematics behind car financing. We will start by looking at some definitions, fundamental definitions, some interesting terminologies which are used. Okay, so a loan that you pay off with weekly or monthly payment, okay, or payments in some other fixed time period, okay, is called installment loan. Mostly what we are familiar with is it's a monthly installment, but it can be another form as well. You can have a weekly installment, yearly, biannually, whatever. Okay, so it's called an installment loan. Now the advantage of an installment loan is basically that you get to use the product immediately, even if you don't have the money, but you can use it and pay it over time. So that's the basic advantage of installment loan, and we use it all the time. The disadvantage is that the interest, if when you take an installment loan on something, okay, it can add a substantial amount to the cost of the purchase. Okay, so now there are different types of installment loans. The fixed installment loan is, in this loan we will focus on car loans in which you make a regular monthly payment, and it's called a fixed installment loan. This is basically the main topic for our lecture today, and we will focus on this one, on fixed installment loans for car financing. Let me first give you a formula. This is the formula which we will use to calculate the installment amount, okay, for a fixed installment loan. Suppose the regular payment which you want to calculate is represented by PMT, okay, and loan which you started with, which you took a loan, we are representing by P dollars, and it is paid n times per year. So this will be 12 if if you're paying monthly, and the loan is for T years, if it's for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. Okay, and obviously it will have some interest rate on it. So the formula looks like this one here. So if you want to calculate a payment on a loan which is P amount, okay, it will be P times the interest rate divided by the number of times you paid, okay, and everything is like this one here. So P is the principal, okay, you borrowed, R is the interest rate, N is the compounding, remember that, N times a year, and R is the interest rate here. Okay, so we'll basically bunch of problems in which we will look at the applications of this formula here, the formula for the loan payment. So let's look at start by example, in which we will compare different car loans which are being offered to you by the dealer. Suppose you decide to borrow $20,000 for a new car. Okay, you want to buy a new car, and you can select one of these two loans which require regular monthly payments. Okay, so the first option we have here is loan A. It's a 3-year loan, of $20,000 at the rate of 7% per year. Okay, so rate is R is 7%. That's one option. Second option is a 5-year loan at 9%. Okay, so our goal here is find the monthly payment and total interest for loan A. Okay, so how much will our monthly payment will be, and how much interest we will end up paying at the end of 3 years, and find the monthly payments and total interest for loan B as well, and we'll do the same thing for the B. and after that we'll compare both options, and then we'll make an educated decision on this one. Okay, so that's our first example. Let's start by looking at the option A. Suppose we want to determine the monthly payments and total interest for loan A. Okay, so monthly payment formula is this one, the formula I gave you on the previous slide. P is the principal amount which we plan to borrow, which is $20,000. R is 7%, so it is 0.07. N is 12, that's how many number of times we want to pay it back. Okay, so that's monthly, so 12 months in a year, so N is 12 here. Okay, and you put R and N and T in the denominator as well. When you do all the calculations, okay, using a calculator, it comes out to be that if you go with the loan A option, your monthly payment comes out to be $618. Okay, this is your monthly payment. And how much interest will you pay? Since you are going to pay this for 3 years, okay, so total interest over 3 years will be total number of monthly payments, which is this one 618 we just calculated. Since our loan is for 3 years, we will pay it for 36 months. Okay, so minus the amount of the loan. Okay, so this much we will pay, this much we basically owe them, so we will make an overpayment of $2,248 right there. Okay, so this will be the interest we will pay if we go with option A here. Okay, so this is the total interest with loan A. Okay, so let's keep this calculations here. We'll compare it at the final slide. Let's move on to loan B now. So with the loan B, the two things changed. Okay, the interest rate changed. It went little higher because we are extending it over 5 years. The T changed because first we had a time of 3 years. Now we are extending it on a 5-year period. My first guess is the payment should decrease, okay, because we are extending it from 3 years to 5 years. So let's look at it. Same formula. P is same. R is the 9% this time, which is 0.09. N is the same, 12. Okay, put everything into the formula. This 5 in the previous one it was 3. So now the loan term is for 5 years. So this is 5 year. Whenever you do this, you calculate that the monthly payment comes out to be $415. Okay, about over 200 less than what we calculated in the previous one. Now let's see how much interest we will pay if we prolong it for 5 years. Okay, so total interest payments will be 415. Our installment, we will make 12 times 5, 60 installments. Okay, so this is the amount which we will pay, and this is what we really owe them. We owe them 20,000 and we will pay this much amount. When we calculate the difference, looks like we will pay them $4,900 $4,900 in interest. Okay, now let's put things together and make an educated decision here. So if we go with the 3-year loan at 7%, our monthly payment is high, okay, but we save money at the end. Okay, save money at the end. We save, our interest is less. But if we go with the 5-year loan, okay, it's monthly payment is more, monthly payment is less, but the interest is more. Okay, interest is almost doubled. So if I can afford it, if I can afford the monthly payment, I will definitely go with this loan here, because I'm saving about half the money. I'm saving over $2,500 I'm saving if we go with the 3-year loan. But at the same time, now when we have numbers in front of us, we can make a decision. Who knows, it depends upon situation to situation. Maybe I can afford $618, but you cannot afford it. Okay, maybe you can only afford $500. So this option is not for you. This is the option for you, but you will pay the price because you will pay more interest in there. Okay, so the purpose of this example was, as I said, to make an educated decision based upon your circumstances. What will happen if you can afford, as I said, more monthly payment, you will definitely pay less interest and you will be done in 3 years. But if you cannot afford more, to pay more, then you should go for with this option here. Okay. Let's look at a second option. Suppose you cannot afford to buy a car altogether. Okay, what is the option? Then the obvious option is leasing. Okay, leasing a car means you pay a specified amount of money over a period of the time for the use of a product, in this case a car. Okay, so leasing is basically a long-term rental agreement. Okay, instead of renting a car for a day, 2 or a week, you just rent it for months. um, so there are two leasing options which are available in the market. First one is closed-end lease, second one is open-end lease. What does it mean? A closed-end lease is each month, okay, you use the car and you make a fixed payment based upon the estimated usage, which they certified in the contract. Okay, you cannot go beyond 10,000 miles, blah blah blah, whatever it is. Okay, so this is a closed end deal. And when the time is up, okay, suppose you did it for 36 months, you will return the car when the lease ends. Okay, and you will pay the mileage if you went above that mileage which you agreed upon. Okay, so you pay the mileage price for each mile, for the excess usage. So this is called a closed end lease, and this is in practice more than the open end lease. Okay, now open end lease, I don't think I have seen it. I have been through many of these leasings and purchases of cars and all that. I have not seen open end lease, and anybody didn't offer it to me anyways. So theoretically, in an open end lease, you make a fixed payment each month, okay, based upon the car's residual value. Okay, it all boils down to how you keep up the car. Okay, if it stays in a good condition, or you used it roughly, or whatever it is. Okay, so residual value is the estimated resale value of the car at the end of the lease. Okay, and it is determined by the dealer basically. So what happens when the lease ends? You return the car and make a payment based upon its appraised value at that time compared to its residual value. Now two things can happen when you appraise it. Okay, if its appraised value is less than the residual value, okay, stated on the lease, then you will pay the portion, okay, or whatever the difference is, you'll pay to the dealer. And in other scenario, if the appraised value is greater than or equal to the residual value, maybe you owe nothing, or maybe you will receive some money from them. Okay, so this kind of thing is called a open end leasing. Okay, here's just a basic common sense things I put together in this slide, from your book. I'm sure if you have been through this one, you all know this already. The advantages of leasing are, it requires a small down payment, or sometimes no down payment if there is any deal or promotion going on. No down payment, and you can walk away, drive away with the vehicle. Okay, uh, you can another good thing is, which I like, is you lease payments for a new car are lower than a loan payment. Okay, sometimes significantly lower. So basically, you can just, even if you no need to worry about like if I can afford it or not. You can drive away with Cadillac or BMW, even if it's not in your price range, because the payments are low for the leasing. Okay, so most people can lease a more expensive car than what they would be able to buy in reality. So what happens when the lease ends? Okay, when lease ends, you return the car to the dealer. Okay, and do not have to be concerned about the selling or the depreciation value or anything. Okay, so this is another advantage of leasing a car. Disadvantage is basically when you return the car, lease ends, you pretty much go back to the public transport. You don't have anything. Okay, you don't have a car. Okay, so first you have a Cadillac or BMW, now you have nothing. Second thing is, most lease agreements have a mileage limit on them. Okay, so it's 10,000 or 12,000, mutually agreed mileage number by the dealer. And if you go beyond that number, uh, they can charge you per mile. Okay, and some miles add up pretty quickly, so the dollar amount. Okay, so that's another disadvantage. Another disadvantage is at the end of the lease, when mileage, penalties, and other costs are taken into consideration, the total cost of leasing is almost always more expensive than financing a car. Okay, if you're driving a lot, okay, and you go beyond that, it's not a very how you say it, wise decision. And when leasing a car, you're responsible for its keep up. Okay, so you have to keep it in a good condition, because if you do any damage, it's not yours, it belongs to the dealer where you borrowed it basically. So if you do some damage, you are liable for that. So that's another concern. And final thing is, leasing does not cover maintenance. Okay, and there are penalties if you want to end the lease early. That's another disadvantage. So third option, first we talk about buying a car, then leasing a car. Now let's say buying a car but a used car option. Okay, so we'll look at a situation. Suppose that you are thinking about buying a car and have narrowed down your choices to two options. First option is a new car option. New car costs $25,000 and can be financed with a 4-year loan at 7.9%. That's one option. Second option is a used car option. Okay, so 3-year-old model of the same car, and it costs $14,000 and can be financed with a 4-year loan at 8.45%. Which one is the better option? Okay, which one you should go for? Again, these kind of things, they change from person to person. There is no universal law. Okay, 3-year-old car is a 3-year-old car. It has been used before. You don't know why they are selling. If there is something wrong with that, unless it's inspected, certified, or something. Okay, but we'll do the math. Okay, we'll look at the difference between the prices. We'll calculate. We will make our decision based upon the numbers basically. Okay, so this is our question: what is the difference in monthly payments between financing a new versus a 3-year-old car? Okay, let's look at a new car option. So we want to find out monthly payments for the new car that costs $25,000 and 4-year loan and 7.9%. Using the same payment formula, we calculate that the monthly payment comes out to be $609 if we go with the new car. Okay, so if we go with the old car option, it's $14,000. Okay, with a 4-year loan, and its payment comes out to be $345, almost half the difference. Okay, again, now it's a personal choice. Okay, do you want a shiny car, 0 meter, no mileage on it, and you can afford it, then you should definitely go with this one. But if you are on a budget, poor guy like me, then maybe you should consider this one here. Okay, but it's again, it's based upon your choice. But when just making most people will make a decision based upon their emotions. Here we are making a decision, we are mathematicians, we are making a decision based upon the numbers we see. Okay, if you I will give you an example on in a coming slide where you see what numbers tell us basically. Anyhow, so let's put things together. We worked out the details of each option and found this. Monthly payment for the new car is this. Monthly payment for the old used car is $345. Okay, the difference between the two is $264. Okay, so we will save $264 every month if we just willing to go for a 3-year-old car. Okay, make your choice. Make your choice based upon your circumstances. Okay, make your choice. What do you want to do? Make your choice what you can really afford. Okay, and make your choice wisely and mathematically. Okay, moving on. Let's say congratulations. Okay, you bought a car. Okay, you made an educated decision. You bought a car, leased a car, a used car, whatever you made based upon your circumstances. You have a car now. What is coming? What is next? Okay, before you can take the car onto the road, what do you need? Insurance, you got it. Okay, we need an auto insurance. So when you purchase insurance, you have to go with the state's minimum standards. Okay, you buy a protection against the loss associated with the unexpected events, accidents, totals. Okay, different types of coverage associated with the auto insurance, but one required by nearly every state is liability. There are two components of the liability coverage, and few others. First one is bodily injury liability. It covers basically lawsuits if someone is injured or killed in an accident in which you are at fault. The next one is the property damage liability. It covers the damage to other cars and property from your fault operation of the vehicle. Okay? I'm sure you all drive and you know these things more than me. Okay, so again, a few more things. Collision coverage pays for the damage or loss of the car if you are in an accident. Comprehensive coverage protects your car, from fire, theft, falling objects, acts of nature, and collision with an animal, etc., etc. You hit a deer or something. Okay. Other expenses you have to be, keep an eye on related to the ownership of a car. What comes to mind? You buy a car, you have insurance, now you want to bring it onto the road. Fuel, okay, gas. So buying a car is a huge expense, okay, and a financial responsibility. Things don't stop right there when you buy a car. It's, you have some ongoing expenses as well. Car continues costing money even after you purchase it. Okay, fuel, maintenance, tires, tolls, parking, cleaning. Okay, did I miss anything? Yeah, that's it. Okay, maybe I missed something. I don't know. So don't forget about the taxes. Okay, ownership expenses such as insurance, license fees, registration fees, taxes, interests on loans, and blah blah blah. Okay, so this all comes in a one package. Okay, um, let's talk about the cost of gas. Okay, some math behind it. The most important expense of owning and driving a car is the fuel expense. Okay, now all the calculations I'm going to present here, they are based upon a supposition. Assume that you drive 15,000 miles per year. Okay, most people drive less than 10,000 miles. Okay, few drive more than 20. So I kept a middle figure here. So if you drive a small car, okay, small four-door, let's say Toyota Corolla, or some Chevy Impala or something, okay, small sedan, cost per mile is 44 cents approximately, okay, 45 cents. And if you drive a medium sedan, it is about 58 cents. Minivan, 63 cents per mile. If you drive a large big luxury sedan, it's 75 cents. If you drive four-wheel drive or wheel drive SUV, it's about 76 cents per mile. Okay, every mile you drive, 76 cents down the drain. Okay, now assuming you're driving 50,000 miles per year, so what will be the cost per year? Okay, so you multiply this 0.449 with 15,000 miles, and it turns out to be $6,735 if you own a smallest car, small sedan car. Okay, and if you own an SUV, four-wheel drive, okay, it will be $11,360, which is a little bit too much for a student. And I should have a column here for Hummer. So probably it will go pretty much up. I don't know. I never owned a Hummer. Anyways, now the annual fuel expense, we can calculate it using this formula here. Okay, so this is the formula which we can use to find the annual cost. Annual miles driven divided by miles per gallon. Okay, and multiplied by price per gallon. That will give you this cost here. Okay. Okay. Let's compare fuel expenses. Suppose that annually you drive 24,000 miles per year. Okay, and the gas average is $4 per gallon. It's a little bit too much in this example again. I don't know why. Yeah, it can be if you are driving every weekend to Charleston, okay, from Spartanburg to Charleston. Yeah, maybe you will, get these miles. But if you're coming to school, maybe you will be less than 10,000. Anyways, so these are our parameters here. We drive 24,000 miles per year, okay, and the gas price is $4 per gallon, okay. What will you save in annual fuel expenses if you own a hybrid, okay, which gives you 50 miles per gallon, or and compare it with if you own a SUV, which gives you 12 miles a gallon, okay. How much money you will save in annual fuel expenses? That's our first part. Now, second part is just to make this deal, whatever we save, make it more lucrative. Okay, if you whatever you save, okay, by driving and hybrid, and whatever you save, if you put it into a saving account, again a very good saving account which pays, over 7% compounded monthly. How much will you save in at the end of 6 years? Okay, very good example, and probably it's sort of advertisement for a hybrid car. But let's look at the math behind it. Okay, see what happens. So this is our situation here: 24,000 miles and 4 gallons of gas. Okay, $4 a gallon of gas. So we want to calculate the annual fuel expenses using this formula, the formula I gave you in the previous slide. Okay, so for the hybrid, we divide 24,000 miles by miles per gallon, which is 50, and times the amount. Okay, if you work out this thing here, it turns out to be that our annual gas expenses is $1,920 for the hybrid. Okay, and if you drive an SUV, you do the same math, and it turns out that it costs at $8,000. $8,000 every year. Now, how much we will save? Of course, the difference we will save. Okay, so the difference of the two will be $6,080. So if we choose to drive hybrid instead of SUV, okay, we will save $6,000, annually. Annually. Okay. So now, suppose we whatever we save, we put it into the bank. So that's the second part of our question. Okay. So final savings at the end of 6 years. So we saved $6,080 per year. So how much we saved per month? We saved $507 per month. Okay. So if you divide 6,080 by 12, this is what you save every month. So which you want to put into a saving account. Okay. So this is the formula, formula for the value of the annuity. Okay. So put everything into this one, and this is the accumulated value. Okay, our interest is compounded annually, so n is 12 here. Okay, and r is I gave you 7.6, which is not very realistic. Okay, the interest rate 7.3, it's sort of not really good. Okay, unless you put it into a really good investment, there you might get that one. Okay, you put it in some stocks, Apple stocks or something. Okay, but if you go for the regular savings account, it's less than 1%. But anyways, suppose you find something which gives us 7.3%. Okay, so how much it will our saving from the gas at the end of 6 years, it will turn into $45,634. Okay, which is huge. Okay, so again, you can save a lot of money. I'm not advertising for a hybrid car here, but I'm just trying to tell you, in student life, if you choosing a gas efficient car, you can save a lot of money. That's what math tells us, numbers tell us. Okay, so you would have saved approximately 45,634 at the end of 6 years. Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. As I said in the start of this lecture, it's a very pretty interesting lecture. Common things, common math, common calculations which we deal with every day. Okay, I hope they will help you when you decide to buy your own car. Well, try the homework problems I assigned in my math lab. If you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you very much. Bye bye.